You sometimes have no idea how good you are as an artist. I dived into the whole VFX 3D world like 3 years ago.
And now you're winning awards. You got first place for the KITBASH challenge.
I didn't expect it. When I saw the challenge popping up, was literally at 1 month to go.
Oh, really?
So I thought planning is key, concept is key. Naturally, I love just diving into the engine, but this time I really opted into the traditional classic workflow, like a professional artist should do.
Can you break down your overall pipeline?
I use Blender a ton. Cinematic car rig. For all the explosions, I use, of course, my dearest Ambergen. High quality assets like this weren't available a couple of years ago. They're doing some black magic.
It's very empowering to have these tools.
How can I ask for more? I feel so rich. Everything I did following up on the idea felt so natural, so effortless, so satisfying. Trust the process, the VFX process.
Arthur, welcome back to the VFX process.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Really looking forward.
Definitely. We've had you on in the past, Arthur, where we spoke about Voyage.
Oh my God, Voyage has come such a long way from there. My God, even a bit ashamed of that.
Today we're going to be talking about another one of your short films. For those who haven't seen the other episode, can you just give us a brief intro who you are and a little bit about your background, just to bring people up to speed?
Yeah. Hey, my name is Arthur. I'm a DOP, director of photography, and a self-taught Unreal Engine artist. I'm currently freelancing for Goodbye Kansas. I dived into the whole VFX 3D world like 3 years ago. I'm very, very new.
And now you're winning awards, which is incredible. You got first place for the KITBASH challenge?
Yeah, I didn't expect it, but found out a nice experience that somebody gave me an award for some of the most stupid idea I had. Like... Just want to give a huge shout out to the rest of the competitors in the field. I frankly feel there were so many better movies than me. So,
can you just give us a brief insight to what kind of community challenge it was and who KITBASH are and kind of how you started on that?
Okay, yeah. So I'm not associated or related to KITBASH in any way. This is a studio which are specialized on creating 3D assets. KITBASH assets, extremely high quality, extremely easy to implement into several engines or DCCs. And they sped out a challenge, which was called Secrets of the Luminara. It's focused on some kind of Aztec or Mayan theme. And one of the requirements for that challenge was to use one of their packs and create either a short film, the in-motion category, which I fortunately won, or there was I think a concept art challenge, and there was also a video game challenge, yeah.
And this short film called Tuk Tuk Tango, you said it's a crazy idea. How did it begin? Where did the idea come from?
So first of all, Tuk Tuk Tango, I would say, is a kind of an action-packed short film with a bit of stupidly unique story. It's about a Jeep. It's about Indiana Jones' Jeep, who's super fed up with his lazy owner, and Jeep wants to go on an adventure. It's a little bit of an adventure story about bravery and adventurousness and overcoming the fear, and that the journey is more important than the destination, yada, yada, yada. And the idea, Jesus, Jamie, I wish I could tell you guys about a cascade of creative thoughts, which led me to the idea, but...
Maybe a 3 a.m. wake up in the morning, wouldn't it be hilarious if this happened?
Well, actually, that was exactly how it went. Except it wasn't 3 a.m., but 8 a.m. when I woke up and saw the KITBASH challenge. And there it was, this extremely dumb, kind of humorous and simple idea. And as a creative yourself, I think, if an idea sticks to you and doesn't want to go away, there's something magic about it, and it's even became more magic when everything I did following up on the idea felt so natural, so effortless, so satisfying. The time when I saw the challenge popping up on Instagram, it was literally at 1 month to go.
Oh, really?
To create a 4-minute 30 short film, which already in my head was way too ambitious to even begin with. And so I thought planning is key, concept is key. I need to have some kind of organization. Naturally, I love just diving into the engine, which also comes with the benefit of just creating not only your scene, but also creating new ideas. But this time I really opted into the traditional classic workflow, like a professional artist should do, I guess, of just opening up a mirror board and laying down everything, like the concept, the idea, the references, a huge storyboard, and also a shot list. I went on a huge asset hunt and make a list of assets I want to use. Because I knew that some parts of the short film I couldn't do alone. I needed people to support me. And the best way to support me is to maybe sell them the idea.
Gotcha.
Which I needed a mirror board for, kind of like a little bit of a pitch to show them, look at my extremely stupid idea. Do you want to waste your time on my project?
We've got 1 month. Let's go.
Let's go. There's one part in Tuk Tuk Tango which places entirely in the jungle. And I knew that I probably don't have enough time to tackle that. It's way more complicated than every other shot in the film. Luckily for me, KITBASH decided, like 1 week before the deadline, they decided to extend the deadline for 1 more month.
Oh, really? So you had 2?
I had 2 months, and I said to myself and my little team, let's do the whole jungle scene. There's a shot where the Jeep jumps out of the temple into the jungle and has this huge chase with another tuk-tuk. Everything goes up in flames, the most violent oil explosion and so on. This was completely optional. I told you I have a little bit of team that they were specifically focused on one specialized task of creating music, creating the rigging for one vehicle, and creating one destruction simulation. But other than that, I took care of all the production and all the planning and organization. So impossible to do it from my head. Ultimately, it worked so well, like creating this in 8 weeks. I think I want to chase up on that even more for other projects. Really want to develop myself in terms of storytelling and writing. And I think the more complex stories get, the more structure and organization they need.
Absolutely. The more involved it is, the better it is to have more of a plan of attack, you know.
I mean, I don't want to say that there were no place for happy accidents, happy mistakes. They definitely have their place, and they're necessary for the whole creation process. To just throw away an idea because another idea is more creative, is more humorous, is more in line with the viewer's expectations or my own expectations, or like an idea I want to sell. And some scenes, some shots don't make any sense. Just throw it away. Kill your darlings. I mean, ultimately, every shot has to tell some kind of story. Otherwise, what's the point?
Just because it looks cool doesn't mean it should be there, you know. It's very ambitious. It's a very action-packed short film, you know. Do you spend any time planning that in like an animatic form from your storyboards?
So I did exactly that. Just 1 week of really boring gray boxes around my environment for pacing, for speed, for the edit. And I also had a music composer and a sound engineer, which was reliant on some kind of pacing and then some kind of editing flow. So he needed a timeline to create a composition and the sound effects as soon as possible.
Awesome, man. And regarding Unreal Engine, can you break down your overall kind of like, you know, pipeline? Was there DCCs involved, and what were they used for, and certain elements? Just to give us a kind of an overview of your project, Arthur.
I had to use so many other DCCs. I had to implement so many other softwares into my pipeline because, sorry to say, Epic, but your software is sometimes a bit finicky.
To put it politely.
To put it very politely and friendly, just a bit finicky. And it was actually the freaking biggest challenge about this whole project. Unreal Engine can be a freaking... I use Blender, like a ton of Blender. This software is a freaking godsend. I just love it. It's so fast. It's so easy. It's so compatible. It works on Mac. It works on Windows. It's just everything and even more. I had to use Embergen and Liquidgen, obviously, for the effects. Used a bit of Substance Painter, Marvelous Designer for the cloth, the Rococo suite, as well as software for performance capture, MetaHuman Animator for facial performance capture. Blender was specifically used for creating simulations like the RBD fracturing. Everything was done inside Blender with RBD Lab. And Blender was used to modify the vehicles in a specific way. So the Unreal Engine plugin Cinematic Car Rig can read those meshes or those assets But all the environmental work was done in Unreal. Because, I mean, I started using Unreal back then when I started learning 3D software. So it just felt natural to create landscapes and environments inside Unreal. And KITBASH3D has this software called Cargo, which is kind of an intermediary between Unreal and the 3D software, and has this plugin where it just imports all the assets with the textures, with the materials right into the engine.
Was there any kind of new, add-ons or plugins in Unreal Engine that were kind of like game-changing for this project? I guess driving the car was kind of fun, and you knew that we're going to drive these.
Oh my God, no, I did everything in my power to not rely on any of Unreal Engine's physics.
Okay.
A lot of time I spent testing in the last 3 years of doing 3D was trying to work with chaos physics inside Unreal Engine, and they treated me like horse poop. They're just extremely unreliable, as I said. So I knew from the start of this project, I don't want to use them. The most important aspect of my short film is the use of the so-called cinematic car plugin for Unreal Engine by Amir Hossein Hematyad. Dude, this man, he's just a wizard. The way it works is as simple as it's ingenious. Basically, after preparing a car mesh inside Blender, you export it as an FBX into Unreal Engine. And the cinematic car rig plugin asks for a body mesh, some wheels, a steering wheel, maybe some calipers if you have some. And that's it. Theoretically, you're good to go. You can just drag and drop the child blueprint car into your world, move it around, and the car will react dynamically to any surfaces by raycasting directly from the tires to a complex collision of a mesh or a landscape, calculating the ground distance and adjusting the wheel movement accordingly. Additionally, the blueprint is infinitely scalable, allowing you to add as many other meshes, skeletal meshes, or even physical constraints to your car. The plugin also includes functions for implementing whole suspension systems, be it a leaf suspension or a spring suspension system, which can be added directly in the construction script or the event graph. Finally, and this was super exciting for me as a director of this short film, for full control over the car's movement, you can define a spline path in Unreal Engine, and the vehicle can be then driven along this particular path by adjusting parameters like the distance and the time, which comes down to speed, right? Allowing you for super precise animation and choreography. Yeah, so this plugin was a huge game changer for me.
And did you know about this cinematic car rig before the project?
Yeah, a couple, like last year, BMW and Bowers Wilkins, the producer, approached me and we created a commercial for them where I used CCR, and it worked out really well. Yeah, so I had a lot of experience with that, and I even modified the blueprint in a way or to an extent where it suited my needs in a better way.
Nice.
Like not only the suspension has to move in a logic way, but there are also a lot of simple, like small things on the car, like the mirrors which need to move, the little figure on the dashboard. There are some things which have to behave like physically in a somehow correct way, and this is what I used chaos physics for. What I also use to an extent is in the sequencer of Unreal, you can right click on any scalar value and just do an override with Perl and noise.
Mm-hmm.
Anything related where something shakes, just add Perl and noise to it. I think they added it in 5.2 or 5.3.
I was going to say before 5.2, that was something that people were screaming out for, wasn't it? Can we just add a simple noise?
It's ridiculously complex to add simple noise in Unreal. Jesus. But for cameras, I used hand-recorded camera shakes.
Cinemotion.
There we go. I have this Unreal template project I created for myself with several plugins already added to it, and Cinemotion is literally the first one I've added. It's insane. Worth every penny.
Absolutely, man.
I also used, because it was such an action-driven film, I wanted some over-the-top lens flares. So Dylan Brownie's cinematic lens flares, get them in.
Let's get into a few of the headaches and painful moments on this project. Arthur, was there any moments that you remember being like, what the?
I had at some point, when I rendered out stuff, it calculated shaders, it recompiled shaders on every single subframe. I asked around in every forum, in every Reddit post, in every Discord channel. I went completely crazy. I was so frustrated. because it added like on the render times, and I didn't add too much time. I solved it just through pure luck.
What was it?
It was related to if you combine substrate. The new material shader substrate with MetaHuman plugin. It just does that.
Oh, really?
And the way around it is either disabling MetaHuman or substrate, which both of the things I wasn't able to do because I was too deep into the project. Or you have to change line 161 of the C++ code in a certain way.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
That sounds a stressful rabbit hole to go down.
I feel like I wasted so much time spending hours on solving something when it's just a simple fucking checkbox I didn't hit. So what I do right now is just turn off the computer, get on my bike or get on my running shoes and get the fuck out and just restart my brain.
Yeah.
And more often than not only after one night's sleep, but also on my bike or in little walks, just comes to me, wait.
Yeah.
There's something I haven't tried out.
But you're blind to it at the time, aren't you? Like when you're in there, you cannot even, like it's impossible to, unless you just take yourself away from it.
Like it is so important to know your limits and to know when you're like overworked, or to know when to ask for help, to know where just to take a step away, just because you're just wasting so much time.
Well, this project, we mentioned it's a KITBASH. It was a KITBASH challenge. We can talk about now, the assets, the world building. What's it like building that world from the pack?
I didn't want to spend, or I didn't have any time to learn modeling, like proper modeling. So KITBASH assets was a godsend. Looking back at it, the process was quite similar to how I would create a short film on set. You have existing set or assets. You go on a virtual location scout. You get rid of everything the camera doesn't see. You set res, you previs, you do a previs edit, you add music, you get the actors in and tell them how to move or animate. You light, you do effects, you shoot, and you color grade. I felt like what I learned on set really benefits me in creating worlds in Unreal as well.
Is there anything that you add on to these shots and scenes to kind of get away from a generic kind of KITBASH look? Is there any layers that you add on to them to kind of make them your own?
I think with my background, I rather focus more on the post-processing effects and on the camera, the framing, the composition, the colors, and the movement of the camera, and the lighting as well, and also how I could dirt down the camera lens. I think I accepted the fact that I won't be like a good modeler or a good texturing or shader artist. It's not how I enjoy my time creating stuff.
But you bring to the table your skill set that makes it unique naturally, like your knowledge of lights, your knowledge of, what this camera is going to do for the shot,
Another central, no pun intended, aspect of Tuk Tuk Tango is its cinematography, I'd say, which draws significant inspiration from the movie Mad Max Fury Road, directed by the legend himself, George Miller, and lensed by a stunning cinematographer, John Seale. Probably you guys know already or noticed, but in Mad Max Fury Road, there's a very strong emphasis on central framing, where in most of the shots, the action takes place right in the middle of the screen. This technique creates a very strong sense of focus and intensity, drawing the audience's attention just right directly to the heart of the action. And I have tried to apply a similar technique in my short film to create a dynamic and hopefully visually engaging.
These vehicles have got so much personality. You got an aeroplane that kind of, flaps their wings. You've got, the crocodiles, which are cars. There's so much uniqueness and kind of, personality throughout the whole thing. We've mentioned animation of driving, but can you talk about the rig setup?
Usually it's very, very intuitive using CCR, but the plugin naturally doesn't support really like free-wheeled vehicles like tuk-tuks. I had to kind of work around it a little bit, and I had a bit of help from the creator, which was so nice enough to teach me how to properly rig it. Basically, what it does, it looks at one point A, which is the wheel, and point B, which is the body of the car, and just scales the suspension or the leaf suspension or the spring accordingly.
Right.
That's the whole magic. It's just scaling. This guy not only has a cinematic car rig plugin, but he has a cinematic bike rig plugin. So we ended up using functions of both plugins on the Tuk Tuks.
Oh, really?
But again, I had to do a shit ton of secondary animation. Like cars have, even aesthetic as they are, they have so many intricate, subtle movements.
And it all depends on like the weight.
And it's a bit similar to us humans seeing other human faces. When we see a car not behaving like it should, there's something, even if we don't know what is off, we feel that something's off. This is what my partner told me, like when she saw the car. Like, oh, it seems so floaty.
Yeah.
Damn, you're right. As inhumane and static as they are, we just have some kind of consciousness for how a car should move. And my partner feedbacked another shot where the car entered water and she was like, why isn't the water reacting? Fuck. Yeah, I know, but come on, you don't know how fucking awful it is.
We've got 4 weeks left.
Yeah, how am I supposed to do water sims now? Come on. But she had a point. So I used another plugin called Waterline Pro, which works extremely well in deferred rendering, but also in path trace rendering. And I attached a collider mesh to my vehicles, and it kind of, the water interaction is calculated automatically.
Is it an intense process? Is it kind of heavy on your system to generate?
Not at all. I'm actually not sure what black magic they're using in the plugin, but it's one simple blueprint. It's just a simple water plane, and you can tell the system what colliders to look for.
Really?
And it does a really, really good job. You just have to change the collision box of the mesh to a complex collision, and there we go. You can still tweak the amount of waves it creates and how long the wave sticks. So you have a lot of flexibility on this plugin. This was entirely used for all the big scenes where like a lot of water was shown. For the close-ups, I used Liquigen. For all the explosions, I used a ton of course, my dearest Ambergen. How could you not? Like, I mean, this software is just bonkers.
It really is.
I think I accepted the fact that I will never ever in my life have the mental capacity to learn Houdini. I don't want to study rocket science or anything. It's just, I have to use something like Ambergen, and it does the job pretty well.
Absolutely. It's that indie approach, isn't it? Like, look, I could spend 4 years mastering Houdini, how to build the perfect explosion, but I want to tell this story. What's available to me? Where can I grab assets? Where can I kind of, use a system that's just going to really work for me and my project and this small,
exactly,
but ambitious project that I want to get across the line without learning every software and everything out there. It's just impossible.
I mean, I have this kind of history with Ambergen and Django FX. I think they're just doing exceptional work in the FX industry. High quality assets like this weren't available a couple of years ago, which leads me to another amazing plugin I had to use for that, which is called Zebra VDB. Have you ever heard of it?
No, but tell us.
It compresses VDBs to a point from several gigabytes, tens or hundreds of gigabytes, to megabytes.
Really?
Without any visible loss of quality.
Wow.
It's just magic.
Because they can get heavy, VDBs.
Dude, I wasn't even able to load a scene with the traditional VDB approach. And I found Zebra VDB and I tested it out, and it just worked amazingly. I could play back with 60 FPS in an extremely, extremely FX heavy scene. Like there's a shot where the whole bridge comes down and everything explosions everywhere. None of this is comped or flipbooks or image planes. This is all 3D VDBs. They're doing some black magic.
That's insane.
At some point I was like, why even use image planes, man? It's just like everything is so smooth. But I ended up using some flipbooks from Ambergen. I mean, a good flipbook still beats Unreal's Unreal's Niagara effects, like Unreal's fire effects by tenfold.
Absolutely.
There was a godsend. I literally wouldn't be able to finish the project in time, or even had to kick some shots if it weren't for Zebra VDB.
If you look at this, I mean, it's to the level quality of like high-end video game cinematics, if not more. It's like amazing quality. Like, it's very empowering to have these tools and to create such high-end short films and tell your stories. It's a pretty amazing time to be able to create content like this.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, first of all, thank you. This means really the world. It's coming from you also.
Oh, thanks, man.
Well, it's nothing beyond amazing. I feel like I had so many limitations when working in live action on live action movie sets or in the commercial and advertisement industry. But now I feel like I can create everything my mind is capable of. And this feels extremely liberating. And it was always my childhood dream to create video game cinematics. And this is what I'm doing now as a job. I mean, how can I ask for more? It's just, I feel so rich with everything I can do and every story I can tell. I just would love to have a little team of people to boss around now, just to support me on certain projects.
Would you say it's like easier or harder today for kind of, independent creators to kind of break through?
I would say both. On the one hand, I still feel our industry is in some kind of process of democratization, which definitely comes with certain benefits. Like we indie creators, we have way better access to extremely powerful and cost-effective software, as well as knowledge, like masterclasses and workshops and so on. On the other hand, and from my personal experience, there's a drawback to that, where clients expect from indies and studios a more agile and cost-effective and generalist approach, where we have to have a way more knowledge than compared to specialists, which are focused on one specific task. So when I do gigs and jobs, more often than not, I'm expected to not only know stuff about Unreal Engine and filmmaking and lighting, but also about animation and rendering pipelines and comp and so on. But I still think like a good, reliable team of talented generalists can achieve a goal way faster and cost efficient than a huge team of specialists. I don't think I would be where I am when I would have turned my head away from tackling certain issues in Unreal Engine I don't want to be part of, like animation or effects. In an ideal world, I would just love to write and frame, but that's not reality. Every client asked for additional work inside Unreal Engine.
Always.
This is a whole different topic we haven't tackled. Tuk Tuk Tango taught me a lot about optimization inside Unreal Engine. Jesus Christ, that was a huge challenge. The first project, which got so big that my computer wasn't able to handle it, even with a 4090.
Really?
After 3 years of neglecting it, I had to learn optimization inside a game engine the hard way.
Is that something that you did on the fly, or you've done it over the course of years?
No, I had to do it on the fly via on the project. Is it necessary to use a 4K texture when the asset is 50 meters away?
Oh, of course. You see an asset, you're like, that looks amazing. I'm going to download it. I'm going to chuck it in. But soon you realise that my scene won't open and it's foggy. It's in the distance. You don't see hardly any of that large rock in the back. Let's download, a 512 by 512 texture and put that on instead.
And this is liberating in a completely different way, because now I'm having a completely different approach when I tackle a project. Is I fake the S out of it where I can. Like, I don't even care anymore. And if it works, it works. That's the pragmatic approach this project taught me. It was like for the Hero Mountain, and literally the first shot, I went on such a huge virtual location scout on what mountain to use. It was all for nothing. I used a simple projection, just found a huge mountain and just projected in Blender, projected the texture onto the mountain. It looked amazing. Don't need any other asset.
Efficiency and optimization does wonders.
Are you similar on that matter? When
100%. 100%. We're like, you know what? If we can't see it and it's just in the background, we'll just grab an image or project it. That's great. Whatever. Because as well, we do a lot of visualization previews. We have to work fast. It's not final pixel, but the approach to it will work the same for final pixel stuff, depending on the project. Always constantly working through issues like that to be as efficient as possible, 100% all the time. Question here is, how important is social media or platforms like YouTube and people's kind of portfolios out there on social media? How important is it for people to use them to get seen?
Well, I am a bit biased here, and I have a bit of a one-sided view maybe, but I would say it's insanely important. I did have a little production company back then, and I did a lot of social media work for them, so I'm naturally drawn to the approach of getting yourself out there as soon and as frequently as possible. Doesn't matter if it's your best work or your worst work, doesn't matter. Just get it out, especially on business-related platforms like LinkedIn. Build a network. For me personally, this was the platform where I landed the most gigs. But also it's similarly important to build a social network on interest groups like Discord or something, where you share your work and getting feedback by other artists who are probably better than you, and listen to them, be humble, and create together and share your knowledge and get knowledge there. So these are, I think, the main two pillars of social media: our 3D community and the business-related one.
There's a lot of people out there that maybe go, it's not quite ready yet. It's not finished. It's not good enough. I'm not going to put it out there just yet. But as part of the process of, put it out there early on, get some feedback, different mindset, different skill sets, all looking at your work, it's only going to help. Don't get offended or take it personally. They're only trying to help you push your work.
I mean, and it's hard to take it not personally sometimes, because there's so much personal stuff from here into your project. But you have to learn to distance yourself from the thing. Once you put it on the internet, it's not yours anymore. If you know what I mean, it's just in the world. The world now gives it a meaning and gives it a worth. So you have to distance yourselves. And if it wasn't that good, just F it, go to the next one, make it better. That's it. We all create junk sometimes. That's fine.
Definitely. Do you have any advice for 3D artists or filmmakers that want to dive into, making their first short?
Keep it simple. Keep it really simple. There's something Neil Druckmann said when he talked about The Last of Us, where he said, simple stories, complex characters. I still have a very long way to go, but this quote stuck with me. And invest not only in tech and hardware and GPUs, but invest in cinematography and writing and storytelling classes. This will make you a better storyteller, if that's the goal you want to achieve as a creator. Of course, if you want to do pretty images, go ahead and get the latest GPU, get the latest modeling course, whatever you want. But if you want to be a storyteller, invest in storytelling. Go into museums, watch some paintings. We had the beautiful lighting artists 500 years ago already. Watch movies. Watch movies and try to understand, how did the director build a narrative structure. This is what will make you a better director, and this is also what will make you a better artist, because you can now define what project falls into the scope of your capabilities and of your skills, and what is maybe overambitious. And lastly, don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole.
It's so true. We've said that many times in the past on the conversations. Just don't be a dick.
I mean, from my personal experiences, most of the times I get rehired were not because of my limited skill set, but because I try to be respectful and nice and humble with people together, and always have an open ear how I can improve and learn. People will hire you also because you're a nice person, not necessarily because you're the most talented.
You would rather work with someone who's willing to grow, willing to learn, who will put in the effort and have an openness to taking on, feedback or trying something else. That's what you want on the team more than
exactly
skills. So,
and if I would build another team, I would look for people who are reliable. It's way more important for me to have reliable people than have the most talented one. I guess another tip would be for starters, trust the process. The VFX process.
Trust the VFX
Trust
process.
the VFX process. Yeah. You sometimes have no idea how good you are as an artist. Just sometimes it's healthy to believe in yourself. And if you want to really show it to yourself, then enter a challenge. Enter a 3D challenge.
Just for a little bit of fun, we've got 2 comments on your short from the YouTube community. You know, I'm going to throw this question at you. You've probably read this question, but it's from Phone Cinematics, and they said, "How the F is 90% of this even possible? Especially all the physics, water, rigging, the dirt, and how are the wheel suspension reacting so perfect with the ground? Everything is a static mesh, question mark. Seriously, need a breakdown on everything because the little things are impossible to find out. What are the windows smashing and having them linked to the car when it moves? How are the cars getting blown up? I've lost count." Clearly, this person is amazed at the amount of work that you've, achieved here. So we've answered some of these questions in the conversation, of course, but I just thought it was a fun comment to throw at you, Arthur.
It is, and I will continue answering those questions in a separate masterclass I'm currently working on for Tuk Tuk Tango. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. This is just way too much to answer now, but
It is.
I promise I will answer them. It's way more smoke and mirrors than you think.
Awesome, man. Well, that's really exciting that there's going to be like a behind the scenes breakdown. So we definitely look forward to that in the future, Arthur.
Just sorry, it takes a bit of time. I underestimated how much time it would break down.
Another question at WDrago690 said, "How people are supposed to compete against things like this? That's a wonderful project for a very cool initiative from KITBASH, but in the next one, they should create pro and non-pro tiers, in my opinion." Now, this one, what is a pro? Like, you've picked up 3D in 3 years? Like, you can't really put a tier system on it because somebody that's been doing something for a year could create amazing stuff compared to someone that's who's been working in 5 years. It's hard to gauge, isn't it, what a pro and a non-pro is?
Like you said, what is better? What is a pro?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just taking one look at the last Punisher challenge and I'm having the worst imposter syndrome ever. Like, I couldn't even compete with one of the top hundreds. Those are pros for me. But another take on this would be maybe this is also some kind of inspiration for me to look at the pros.
And I think it should be a healthy thing, isn't it? Like, rather than thinking, oh, they've got an amazing work, I'm never going to be able to compete with them, so I'm not going to create anything. Use it as whoa, look how amazing that is. Even if I can improve my work by 5%, I'm growing as an artist. And maybe I'm not there yet, but I'm on my journey to improving myself. And as long as my piece of work is better than my last, then I'm on an upward trajectory and I'm doing good.
Harder said than done. But it is a very healthy way to see yourself as an artist and to become a better artist. Trust yourself and trust the VFX process.
100%. What's coming next for Arthur? Anything else that we can look out for?
I mentioned that one of my childhood dreams was always creating video game cinematics, and this is what I'm currently doing at Goodbye Kansas, working on a AAA title, and it really comes close to living my dream. So I'm gonna ride that wave as long as possible. I have a personal project called Tosca. Deals with effects of isolation and anxiety, depression, social disorder, and so on. So very, very heavy topic for a summer flick. But apart from that, I'm waiting on my bike. It should ring on the door any minute.
What, you having a new bike?
Yeah, second one. It's
nice.
my midlife crisis.
Oh, nice, man. You know what? It's nothing wrong with, getting out there. I've seen on your socials that you go, bike riding, and some of the views and just the escape is, very, very much needed and only a healthy thing. So you enjoy it, Arthur.
I think I'm going to spend the most of the summer with sports and being outside. Yeah.
Is there anyone that you would love to see on this podcast? I guess we could do a call out. Dude,
I know one who should deserve more attention. Craig Simmers. I know you will hate me for saying that. I know you don't want the spotlight, but way too humble, way too talented. Way too talented to be so humble. Get Craig in here.
Okay, amazing. Well, thanks for that, Arthur. That's a great way to end the show.
Welcome.
Well, Arthur, again, as always, a massive thank you for hanging out with us and taking your time to chat with us about your project. So, yeah, we wish you all the best, and thanks
Thank you guys. It was really, I can't stress enough how much it means to you guys having me here talking about my stupid creative ideas here. Really, really appreciate it. And I think, Jamie, you're doing an amazing job of being a host. And Stephen, thanks so much for all the communication back and forth and do the editing. You guys are really doing an amazing job. Dude, there's nothing like it on the internet.
Thanks, man. That really means more than you can imagine. So thanks, Arthur. Well, I hope the bike is delivered soon, and go and enjoy it, Arthur.
Can't wait. 2 months of waiting. Can't wait.
Nice. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks again.
You too.
Take care, man. Bye.
Take care.